Hey everyone, it's Alan over at Cobblers Plus, and we're back with another video talking about another shoe accessory, well, more of a boot accessory that's a really must-have, and especially for you ladies out there, I know it's a must. So come join us and check it out and see what we got for you today. So a little while ago, I made a video talking about shoe trees, cedar shoe trees from Rochester that we usually recommend and we carry here at our store. But we haven't really talked about now when it's time to finally start storing away your boots, your beloved boots that you've been wearing all fall, winter time, even part of springtime as well. But it's time to finally start putting them up on the shelf and putting them back into storage. We did a short clip, basically, not a clip, but we talked about having to maintain and take care of your shoes before having to put them away to prevent any unnecessary damage that can occur while they're sitting out there on the shelf, and from the previous seasons of wearing them that there may be some stuff on those shoes and boots that need to be taken care of. But what about storing them? Obviously, shoe trees are great for shoes and taking care of that vamp area. There are models that are designed for boots as well, mainly particularly designed for men's boots that are about ankle high. But what do you do about the shaft area? See how these are flopping over? These ones, I can't even make them stand up. They keep flopping over and falling over here. What do you do about that? Well, you've got boot trees. Typically boot trees in general, some of you may have seen also, videos or pictures of people using pool noodles and shoving them in there. Pool noodles are great. They're better than nothing. The only problem is that you might not have enough moisture escaping from there, and they just don't really seem to give you that nice resistance, in other words, against the leather trying to bunch up maybe after wearing them, all day or something. That leather is going to try to bunch up from the moisture escaping either off of the outside or from the inside. Perspiration obviously comes off of all of us, so the leather will try to bunch up. Well, sticking in the shoe tree, basically in the bottom area of the shoe, will be fine. Like this pair we have, I completely spaced out what brand these were. I don't even know what brand they are, actually. All I know is that they're Stingray and they're Western boots. Now, the gentleman has a pair of boot trees in here, so he's doing a great job for the toe area, the vamp right here. But as you can tell, his shaft area is just flopping over. Because of that, one, you're causing damage to the leather itself because it causes a crease point. It can eventually end up becoming so much of an issue that it'll cause blisters, some rubbing that's unnecessary and unwanted. The other thing, because it flops over, even with those cedar shoe trees, you're still not allowing enough moisture to escape and evaporate out of there, causing damage to not only the interior of your boots, but also the exterior, because eventually those minerals from your sweat will transfer over to the outside area of the leather boots, or even synthetic too, and will cause some serious damage that may end up being irreversible and can't be fixed. Also shortening the life expectancy significant, let alone that creasing too. Like, who wants your boot to be creased over? I mean, this pair hasn't been in this boot tree too long, and it's been flopped over too many times, so it has these creases up here a little bit, and it's a shame. This is a pair of Jimmy Choo boots, and it's a shame. But hey, we stuck a pair of boot trees in there. I was trying to see if I could even have this one stand up. It refuses to. So when you're getting ready to put away those boots, or even after wearing them all day long, if you're still going to continue to wear them, it's a highly recommended thing to put something in there. Again, pool noodles is kind of like a bare minimum. You can use stuffing paper as well, but it's just not going to give you that proper resistance as far as opening everything up widely and basically fighting back the leather's urge to want to kind of bunch up, in other words, because again, when the moisture escapes, it bunches up. So what we've been carrying here for quite some time is these 4-season ones that are kind of spring loaded. You pull the trigger mechanism here, put them inside the boot. Once you release them, they expand. They'll form to any shape. So if you got a narrow area at the bottom, it'll stay wide at the top, or vice versa. They do a very wonderful job. These are great for storing. If you put these into your boots, you can lay them on the side like this pair, just lay it like that, and they'll be perfectly fine. Still allows plenty of airflow. For the first maybe couple of hours, I would recommend facing them upward because moisture does want to escape upward. So keep them up for just a little bit, and then finally when you're going to put them away for a good period of time, you can set them on your side to save space. If you have any room to be able to have boots standing up full height, by all means do it that way too, or lay them on the side or place them back into the original box or a box that you have. I don't recommend using any kind of plastic totes or boxes like that. It doesn't allow any kind of moisture to escape unless you have silicone beads in there, which will suck up the moisture. But even so, the smell might stay in there if those boots have been really, really loved that season. That smell won't escape from plastic. You can't beat that barrier. Now, obviously, some of you might be saying, well, this is plastic right here. Yes, it's plastic, but you got to remember that this thing is not fully just covering that side there. It's opening everything up enough and causing enough resistance to still allow moisture to escape properly. The biggest concern is always down here in the bottom areas from about the ankle bone down. That moisture gets trapped in there very easily. Even in a short ankle boot like this here, we got a pair of Dolce & Gabbanas where you can see how everything's kind of narrowed off. Some ankle boots even, they sometimes end up closing off almost completely like that. And that doesn't allow much moisture to escape. It will over a period of time, but it can cause some serious damage, and you don't want that. But I definitely recommend invest the money into a couple of these. If you've got multiple boots, definitely well worth the investment. We've also got some here that were sent over to us by Voot. If I'm holding that the right way, there we go, Voot. And they have these ones here. As you can tell, I put them into this boot here. Obviously, it's not sitting in there all the way because there's a pair of cedar boot trees inside here, or well, they are boot trees, but they're on the inside up to about right here, and that's about it. So I just sat this one in here, and it looks like I could push down just a little bit more, but it's sitting this up nicely. It's opened it up, so now everything can evaporate out of there. The cedar is absorbing all that moisture and everything, kind of wicking it away. But with this Voot piece here, basically you're allowed to, leave the shaft wider open to let anything that can evaporate, it will evaporate, as well as preventing that flopping over and then the creasing occurring. So definitely need to do that, even for a number of Western boots. I know there's some Western boots that you put them down and they don't flop over because of how tough the leather is. That's fine. That works great. But if your Western boots close up too much or they flop over, you got to do something about it. Pool noodles, however, the issue is that they still kind of, they're like a sponge anyways. They're going to take in that moisture, and then that moisture is going to sit in that sponge for who knows how long, basically. That's kind of the dilemma with using a pool noodle, not only with the resistance that like these will be able to give you, or these, because once you put them in there, they expand really quickly. So using a pool noodle will be fine, but it's a bit of an issue. Cedar shoe trees, you put them there in the bottom, that cedar is going to absorb that moisture, and it's just going to have this natural reaction to it where it's not going to let it evaporate back into the shoe, where a pool noodle, like a sponge, it's going to go back and forth between being absorbed into the sponge. Basically, that's what it is, into the sponge and into the leather, until finally it's gone back and forth enough times that it's evaporated little by little over an extended period of time. Now, this company, Voot, for me, is fairly new. I don't know too much details about it. These guys actually sent me a bunch of sample pieces. They have different ones here to test out and stuff. So I'm giving you guys a shout out, Voot. Hope you guys are happy about this. I love your product. They are someone that works with, John Fluvog very closely as far as their boots as well. And they're made in the U.S. Actually, it's funny how they say it. It's... if I can remember it, they had it somewhere. Sorry, I got pages here. In Bootylicious, USA. That's pretty cool, guys. But anyways, definitely well worth the investment. These Voot ones, I think I'm probably going to have to start stocking right now with everything kind of still getting back on track in the world and all that. I'm still holding off on it, but I really want to get more of these in and actually start selling and retailing them, because as you can tell, they just flop over flat and they don't take up much room, so they're perfect for traveling. They're perfect for storing when you're not using them. You just pop them on out, stick them in between like a couple of shelves or something like that, so they're completely out of the way, or even just flop them down on the spot where those boots or shoes were sitting. So definitely a cool product. And from what I've been testing out, this is the ankle boot right here from Dolce & Gabbana. They keep their shape just ever so slightly. As you can see, this one's curved a little bit, but they don't end up staying that way too permanently, it seems like. When you end up putting these ones in, you just kind of roll them a little bit, just enough for it to fit into the shaft area of the boot, if I can do this right. And then you just let go, and the whole thing just pops open a little bit more and just really opens it up nicely and lets everything start evaporating more freely. So definitely I highly recommend either these guys, Voot. I'm sure they have a website. Google them. So VOOT. I'll try to leave a link in the description for you guys, or you can swing by and grab some of these Four Seasons if you're going to another local cobbler that's closer to you. There are other brands out there such as Money's Worth Best. They do a great one. I like the Four Season a little bit more than theirs, but they're very similar to what these guys are like. I just personally like this particular model more. The other cool thing, though, about the Four Seasons ones is you can actually hang these if you need to. We do that often when we do suede cleaning on boots. We like to stick the boot trees in there so that they dry more thoroughly and there are no crease marks during the drying period. So we actually hang them up like this, and they do a phenomenal job just hanging there. So if you want to hang some up somewhere, Four Seasons might be great for you. Have multiple different styles and options available if so too. On average, I think they're like anywhere between 10 to maybe $30 a pair. It might be a little bit of an investment, but if you got a pair of boots like Jimmy Choo's here, these are $1,000 boots. You got some, Dolces over there. They're a good couple of hundred, well, more than a couple of $100, but still fairly pricey. You got Stingrays like these guys over here. You better take good care of them. I'm going to be very mad if you come in with Stingrays like this guy did and not put something in there. I mean, come on. You got to do something. It doesn't even really want to flop to the other side, but it'll flop over on the outside like that. So take good care of your shoes. Store them properly. Like I said, we got that semi-short video talking about, taking care of the uppers and stuff before storing them away. That includes this shoe accessory or boot accessory. That is a must-have for ladies, men, all alike. Everyone needs them. If you've got boots, 9 out of 10 times, those boots are somehow not getting enough airflow through them and not getting enough opening to let all that perspiration evaporate, causing more problems in the long run. You have no idea how many times I get boots in, especially Western boots that flop over like this in a cheap brand. I mean, this works for high-end shoes and boots and low-end as well. But I get a number of ladies that come in with those really cheap Western boots that flop over like that, and they used a synthetic material for the upper that's all man-made. And after a period of time, it just starts to kind of crack right there where everything bends. Obviously, the leather won't crack as quickly. Eventually, it will start to give out. Some issues are going to start to occur. But even on the man-made stuff, you gotta do something about that. If you're expecting to have those for at least a couple of years, you stick some boot trees in there. You're going to save your boots. You're going to be happier for a longer period of time. Being able to own those for extended amounts of time, longer than your friend who might have bought the exact same pair and she didn't know about having boot trees in her boots. Well, you were a step ahead, and you get to hang on to those boots for an additional year or two now, even though they're man-made material. Hey, I see lots of boots that are man-made material, okay? I can't say I hate them. Obviously, from a cobbler standpoint, I'm not a big fan of it. But ladies, gentlemen as well, I know sometimes you fall in love with a certain pair of boots or shoes, even if they're man-made material, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to have them for a longer period of time, shoe trees, boot trees, take care of that upper. you're going to be golden. Make sure you store them properly. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was very informative. Definitely, again, check out Voot. I'm going to be looking into them as far as getting them, especially because they're made in America. Well, Vootiful, or yeah, Vootiful America, or what do they keep calling it? I'm sorry, guys, but I can't freaking remember this one. Made in Voodalicious. I gotta like write that down somewhere. Voodalicious America. So I'm very happy and excited about that. That these guys reached out to me with some free samples. Again, check them out. Voot.com. Let me double check for you. Voot Boot. VOOTBOOT.com. There you go. I'll try to leave a link in the description. I have a bad habit of forgetting to put the links down below. But anyways. Also, check out Four Seasons, Money's Worth Best, whatever you could get your hands on. If you've got 3 pairs of boots like this, get 3 pairs of boot trees, in other words. If you have 6 pairs of boots and you trying to budget, take a look and see which ones are doing things like this, where they flop over, ones that are closing up on the tops the most, or ones that are doing this here. Grab those ones first. Make sure you take care of them, and then whenever the time occurs that you're able to get additional ones, you know, use some boot trees, whether they're these ones or these ones, and you're going to be a lot happier. Even if the boots are not flopping over like this or being closed up, it's going to help a lot in the long run to allow everything to properly evaporate inside the boot, and you'll be doing what you're supposed to. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Questions or comments, leave them down below. Go to our website, CobblersPlusCO.com. Can't talk again. And all of our contact information is on there if you need to go get a hold of us, or you can always swing by our store here in Denver. We're in the tech center area. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell icon to be notified when we have our next video out, and we'll see you next time.